1970. Thank you for listening. What's Up Yuma is next. It's 10 o'clock.
If you are in the process of planning for your estate, please consider including KAWC, KOFA, and other charitable organizations in your will or trust. Gifts to nonprofit organizations in your estate planning can help continue your connection to the causes that are important to you. For information, call us at 877-838-5292.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny.
And I'm Ronnie.
And on today's program, we're going to be joined first by Tom Rush from Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management. He's going to talk to us about money.
I need some, Tom.
Yeah, okay. Maybe hit him up for a loan. Let's do it. Like, Tom, give us money.
And we'll be joined by Tad Zavodsky from the Neighborhood Leadership Academy.
I've known Tad for years.
Really?
Yeah, a long time. I know his kids, Troy and
That's
Brian.
awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Cool.
So it'd be cool to catch up with him. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. And you can stream right now on the Border Radio Facebook page and KAWC YouTube page. And email us at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma with Johnny Porter is sponsored by Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management, offering solutions for those who value financial planning. YIVWM.com.
Chili from Philly. Unique Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Ronnie.
And on today's program, we have a special guest who is our sponsor for this quarter.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, Tom Rush. Yeah, thank you very much.
For keeping us on air.
Yeah, he does it. He is the man behind the scenes. Yeah, exactly. We're talking to Tom Rush from Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management. I got to get used to saying that because you were Yuma for quite some time, and you decided to expand into the Valley here, and actually went to your the grand opening.
Correct, in October.
Yeah. So we've had you on the show before, but as always, we a little bit of background about our guest. You're from here, Yuma County, correct?
Correct. Born and raised out in Dayton, Arizona.
Yeah.
Great place to be raised. I mean, we were, hunting, fishing, driving at 8, 9 years old.
Because the authorities weren't, they're not there.
I can't imagine my 8-year-old driving.
But then it was probably a good thing though, like getting you ready for real life at a young age.
I think you learn how to take risk more because, we were playing out in the desert and, we had a ton of pets, played with rattlesnakes, all those things. So you learn to take risk. I mean, do I jump the ditch and if I miss, I mess my knee up, or do I
not
go across the bridge? You learn those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably lucky to be alive.
Exactly. Especially playing with rattlesnakes.
So when you're young in Dayton, was finance always something on your mind, or like what was it? How'd you step into that world originally?
Yeah, I don't know. I always was fascinated by it. I guess, I remember reading a book, I think one of Trump's first book, and I was probably 6th grade, 7th grade, How to Get Rich.
Really?
So I was always intrigued by it to some degree. I mean, a lot of things to read books on, but I read some other, books. I like some of the mystery, the Hardy Boys and all that. But I just was, educate yourself.
But along with that, you said these other books, you found something else that kind of said like how you could improve your life and actually have some money in your pocket.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of, I think success is visualizing it, thinking about it, and then taking action, right? Action's the key term. So I was thinking about it, and I went off to, all my siblings went to Antelope High School out in across the mountain. I went to Brophy up in Phoenix, which was a all guys Jesuit high school, probably one of the better schools in Arizona. And why did I do that? Not because I wanted to go to a school where I knew nobody.
Yeah.
But I did that because, that I just wanted to be at a school that was the best school.
Exactly.
So I kind of forced myself to be, uncomfortable and that kind of thing. But I think in the big scheme of it all, it made me who I was today. And as far as businesses and things that I do.
So you said it was an all boys school?
Yeah.
Wow. So what's that experience like?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a guy.
No girls to distract you.
Well, I wouldn't say that because right
you
next,
snuck them in.
Right next door was Xavier, which was all girls.
Oh, there we go. It's like next door.
After like sophomore year, you can take some classes where you might have 3 girls in it, but but there was plenty of girls around Phoenix. I wasn't too worried.
Yeah.
And then if you told the public schools, like I'd go to Brophy, they usually be like, "Oh, Brophy must be either rich parent or
Yeah,
exactly."
So it's kind of a good way to lay rap, I guess.
Yeah. And you'd mentioned, I think, off air a little bit ago, you didn't come from money.
Yeah, I mean, I was middle class. My dad was, he was educated. He had a master's in etymology, but he was a grower out at one of the ranches. So we had 7 kids. I'm one of 7. So yeah, we weren't, starving or anything, but we didn't, we had to pay for my first car. And, if you want something big, you pay for it. Luckily, we could work out there during those days. I think we started hoeing cotton at like maybe 11, 12.
So crazy.
And, minimum wage was like $2.45 or something.
Yeah.
But we, so.
But I like that. Like, I have a 16-year-old. I'm like, do the dishes, and it's like a fight. And it's like, man, I want to put him out there. Like,
she wants her son to be hoeing cotton
Right now.
Get out there and hoe cotton.
Yeah. Well,
make some money, kid.
It makes you realize. So my dad would be like, "Hey, if you don't go to school, this is what you're gonna be doing." I mean, outside
Very true.
something. So you realize, no way am I doing this.
The rest of my
Figure
life.
something else out.
He gave you some perspective.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got some perspective. And so I put a clip of the episode that you were on. You were on early in our evolution here at What's Up Yuma Radio. And one of the clips that really did well was talking about how when you first started your business, after you were through the financial world, you worked for some big names. Yeah, there was one in Yuma. I'll kind of recap. And it was going away, and you had a choice of what you're going to do. You're going to go move to follow them, or you're going to open up something here.
Correct. So Merrill Lynch shut down. So did Morgan Stanley in the 2000 downturn. And basically, they said, come to Tucson. I could work up there with Merrill Lynch. Didn't really know anybody in Tucson. But so, yeah, I had to make a decision on staying, and kind of forced me to go independent. So my company that I founded, Yuma Imperial Valley Wealth Management, is going to be 25 years as of next year.
Wow.
And I didn't want to do it. I mean, I probably would have been happy at Merrill Lynch for some time. But anyways, so I fronted that whole thing on credit card, right?
Yes. And that was the clip I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's that you talk about, you went into debt, that you got every credit card you could. You told your wife, open them up and then sign us up. And then
just go for it.
Let's do it. And then debt, you're obviously in debt. You said you were talking about you'd wake up at 2:00 in the morning, a sick feeling in your stomach, like, okay, I got to pay this off now.
Somehow.
But that kind of gave you the fuel.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, even today, like, I don't think of work as work. I mean, I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I usually get there early, depending on the days. If I have nothing going on Saturday morning, you see me in my office. If I'm really trying to catch up, maybe Sunday. I mean, I do travel, so I do, do a lot of outside stuff. But yeah, I don't really think it is work. I don't think it's a 9-hour day, 8-hour day. I could do a 12-hour day and not even think about it. So,
and why is that? Is it because you love it so much? But it's because you've created a routine of it that it so well? What's the magic of going to work and not going to work?
I just think in the back of my mind, it's for the good of the cause, which is, my business. I now have a couple partners in it. But it's just, I don't know. It's just not work. I mean, I enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, because you like it.
Yep. And then, some days aren't great, but the next days are better. I just don't look at it that I never did. I don't know. I think being out working out in the fields and that too. I mean, they can say, oh, you got 7-hour work day, but then my dad wouldn't pick us up for an extra 2 hours afterwards. So we're hanging around throwing rocks or whatever. So you just kind of realize, like, the sun comes up, sun goes down, and in the middle, you do what you got to do. So.
And you work with your wife? Is that true?
I do. She's my bookkeeper, HR.
Wow.
And as we got bigger, because we're up to like 20 employees.
Wow.
We brought someone in and she manages the books.
Wow.
So yeah, she has a full-time job too.
And so one of the things about that segment, you talk about getting debt. I just want to ask a question about debt.
Okay.
Because when you first started, did you have a good understanding of debt? Because that scares people, right? Obviously it scared you to propel you to do something, but also if you don't leverage these things, you're not going to be successful either. So I've heard a lot from different financial advisors. It's like, debt is not a bad thing. It's all how you look at it. So can you give us some insight?
Sure. So the debt that I took on to start the business paid off. I mean, it was really close as far as tapping out all those credit cards, and we got over 100,000 in debt. but it worked. So that in that scenario, it worked. I invest in properties, commercial properties, me personally, not for the business. So yeah, I definitely use debt. I mean, debt to me is a way to leverage your money. If I buy the stock market and I buy $10,000 worth of stock, I got to come with $10,000. Well, if I buy a $500,000 office, I only have to come up with like 25%. So really, you can buy a bigger asset with less money. Like, granted, you have to make the payments, but debt should be your friend.
Yeah.
Should be your friend. Okay.
Yeah, now that's the
like
opposite of Dave Ramsey, because he, go debt free.
Yeah.
No debt.
It's funny. I just saw like a guy is spoofing Dave Ramsey now. It's hilarious. Anybody should go check that out. That's a spoof. And he's talking about like hanging up on people. It's like, it's like, you're in debt, you're a slave. And then, it's so funny. It's exaggerated.
Suck.
Yeah. You suck basically.
Yeah.
It's like, you suck. You suck.
No,
But
what?
let me talk about debt real quick. So I think
Okay.
if you had 10 people and you told them to manage debt, probably 7 would fail. So it's not that it's something that his point is, 7 out of 10 is going to fail. You probably don't want to have debt, right?
Sure.
In general, but for the people that can handle it, and the best way to understand debt is to get burned a little bit. I mean, I had late credit cards.
Me too.
I had late fees. When I first got started, I didn't get paid much. I had Dean Witter, and I had my transmission go out, and I didn't have any money for it. And I went to the parents, like, yeah, whatever, figure it out. So anyways, I went to this loan place here in town. I don't remember the place. I got like a 28% loan.
Oh my
And then if I
gosh.
prepaid it, like they penalized me like 50% or something crazy.
We don't want your money early.
Yeah, so- but the point is, like, I got knocked on the head with
You got
debt.
knocked out. You learned early.
I went into massive credit card debt at one point and I got out of it. But now my husband, he's done the education to say, okay, we need this percentage. Like, let's keep our borrowing, so we do have the credit card. So he's really helped raise both of our scores. But he's always told me, man, you got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And that helped transform my brain a little bit.
Yep. And you got to remember what you're buying with credit cards or any money. Is it a depreciating asset or is it an asset that goes up?
So explain that a little bit. Break that down for the layman's,
So most
like
people,
me and Ronnie.
most people will buy things that depreciate in assets. My glasses, my jacket will eventually be worth nothing someday. And cars, appliances and houses are worth nothing someday.
Really? Okay.
So really anything that just depreciates over time. So the things that don't depreciate over time are real estate, stocks, maybe a business if you can run it right. There's some private equity you can get into. So those are the things that go up. And this is a good point to jump into what I want to talk about.
Sure.
So I've been on Johnny saying I want to come back and educate. I'm really big on educating. So I want to just talk about some basics of what average listeners should know. So let's talk about the first thing is the 8th wonder of the world is compounding interest.
Compounding interest.
No
I know
clue.
a little
What
bit.
is that?
I know a little bit about it because my mentor would talk to me about it.
Okay.
Like, you need to understand this concept, but go ahead.
Yeah.
So Einstein said the 8th wonder of the world is compounding interest, and he's a smart guy.
So listen to him.
So basically, how long does it take for your money to compound or grow?
Okay.
So there's a simple rule called the rule of 72. And this was a mathematician, an Italian mathematician in the 15th century came up with this. It works. So you divide your return into 72.
Okay.
So say you get a 10% return, divide into 72, takes you 7.2 years to double your money. So if you get a 1% return, it takes you 72 years to double your money.
That's crazy.
If you get a 3.5% CD, it takes you 28 years to double your money.
Wow.
If you do the S&P 500, historically does, 9% plus, let's just say 9%, it'll take you 8 years to double your money. Now, if you, get into a stock that's going to run, say it gets 20%, it takes 3.5 years to double your money. And you can, play with that game all day long.
So that's why on Shark Tank, they always want a high percentage. They're like, give me 20%.
Yeah.
They want their money back.
Yeah. And so, you got to remember that factor because, it's okay to put money away. But if you put it under your mattress and it does absolutely nothing, or put it in your bank account, it's really not going to do anything. Now, the worst thing that people, enemy of people's money, and they don't really think about it, is inflation. So the average inflation over time is about 3%, give or take. And I'm talking like, 30, 40 years. So what does that mean is every 20 years, your purchasing power gets cut in half. So if you put money into a no interest savings account under your mattress, you pull out that same money in about 20 years from now, you're gonna be able to buy half of the amount of goods.
Okay.
So if you're not keeping up with inflation, you are going backwards. So that's a key thing. The other thing that people, especially when you're younger, is taking risk, because basically, you're not going to put money in a piggy bank and end up with millions of dollars if you don't take risks. So you want to get into things that can do pretty well, pretty quickly. And don't be afraid, things go up, things go down, but just have patience.
And faith.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people don't think real estate is risk, but it is risky. I mean, the 08, 09, 010 real estate thing, housing prices dropped quite a bit, close to 40% ish or more. But stocks can go down, during the March of this year, during the tariffs thing, it dropped 20% the month of February, March. So just don't think of it. Think of it things as long-term. Because short term, if you put 10,000 in a stock and it dropped down to 7,000, you'd be like, okay, that wasn't a good deal. A lot of people will get afraid and pull out of the bad investment at the wrong time. So if the investment still is intact, meaning the stock you own is still pretty good stock, so you probably want to buy more. So people, the average American wants to run from bad pricing. I mean, they things are down, either let's maybe get out or let's not do anything. But that's actually a good time to buy. So you actually just want to go against the grain.
So you buy when it's down.
Buy low, sell high.
Well, yeah, because you hear that a lot.
Yeah.
But then to put that into play, right? You said that seems risky. It sounds like that risk,
scary,
but you can't win unless you get risk. We're going to take a quick break, and I want you to dive into that just a little bit more, and then we could move on for that. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back. We're with Tom Rush from Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management. You're listening to What's Up Yuma right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Ever wanted to be on the radio? Still talking into your hairbrush in the mirror? Border Radio needs you as a volunteer host. Share music, stories, and local conversations that matter. No experience necessary. We'll provide the training. Email info@borderradioaz.org or call 877-838-5292 for more information.
You are tuned to 94.7 FM KOFA Border Radio. This is Cecilia Holland Braithwaite peeking in from the KAWC newsroom. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays is suing Temu over illegally sold goods. She said some of the items the China-based company offers actually are counterfeit. The list includes golf club heads claiming to have been made by Arizona-based Ping, and even clothing with the logos of each of the Arizona State universities. More on this at KAWC.org.
Hi, this is Kevin Cubbins, your co-host on Beale Street Caravan. Next time on the program, we'll have music and interview from Liz Brasher. Also joining us will be Dr. Barbara Ching as she continues her series on country music and the blues. That's all coming up next time on Beale Street Caravan.
Thursday evening at 7 on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here with Tom Rush from Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management, and we left off talking about risk, which people don't like to take, right? Because it's risky. It's right there in the name, but you say you can't get ahead without taking that risk. And one of those ways you're talking about is to buy when it's down and low, which is a risk.
Yeah. Now, if you had told most people, in Yuma, say the average house price was $400,000, then it drops to $300,000, and then it drops to $250,000.
Okay.
Now, is that a good buy?
Yeah.
A year and a half ago it was $400,000. Now it's $250,000. You're like, yeah, that's
sure. I'd be like, what a deal.
Yeah. Now, so most people see that with real estate because they just know things go down. But a lot of times with the stock market, when things go down like that, they don't see it the same way.
They don't view it the same.
They don't view it the same way.
But is it?
Yes.
Okay, but their minds are all jacked up.
Yeah,
they can't see it.
Say you buy 10,000 of a Amazon.
Okay.
And it drops to 7,000 and it drops to 6,000. the human tuitions to run, just watch it or hopefully don't get out, because then you only take the loss when you get out, right?
Yes.
So it floats back up. But most people don't, they want to run from it and not embrace it. So, if we had a correction in the market right now of 60, 70%, it would be terrible, but I'd be embracing the heck out of it.
You would look at it in a totally different way.
Yeah. 2, 3 years, 4 years after this, if you did it right, you could be in a very better position.
And like you're talking years, people usually want the fast return. So you just have to be like, you said, be
patient
and then discipline yourself a little bit.
So check this out. From 1939 to present, the S&P 500 had the worst return in 2008. It dropped 51% that year. That was the housing bubble, mortgage crisis and all that. And if you just hung on to it and rode it out, it took you 4 years to get your money back, which is kind of a long time, but you got your money back.
Exactly.
So then after that, naturally it went back up. But if you would have been buying as it was dropping, it probably would have taken you 2 years to get your money back.
Oh, wow.
So and that's from 1939 to now. That was the worst downturn. And, it's 2 years out of someone's life,
but it's really not.
Yeah.
It's not a long time.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was actually people that were committing suicide because of it. They were very affected by it. I've seen different movies and looked at different documentaries about it. But there's a game to play. And like you said, if you would have bought 2 years versus the 4 years just to recoup.
Yeah. Yep. Now, the other thing, people have different intentions of what wealth is, right?
Yes.
I mean, so there's really 5 types of wealth. So there's physical wealth, which is having, a good body and being able to walk around and, not
be healthy.
Be healthy. Yep. And then there's the social wealth. So who are your friends and family?
Yeah.
Humans are, people, we need other people.
Yeah.
Then there's the emotional wealth, which is how are you with yourself, right? I mean, you have a low self-esteem, you're insecure, are you comfortable? So emotional wealth is crucial. And then there's, I'm missing one of them. And there's, wealth is in assets or money.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of people, our company comes into play. And there's one more, don't remember what that is. But anyways, the wealth side, building wealth is kind of what I do for a living. Now, you have to have money to make money. Now, granted, I can go find a rock outside and tell you it looks like this. And you might buy it from me for $20. So maybe you don't have to have money to make money. But in general, you have to have money to make money. So what you want to do, the best way to save for yourself is off your paycheck. So if it never hits your bank account, you can't spend it. So most companies have a plan, through payroll and that of 401k or putting money away.
Yep.
Most companies will match that money. So when they match that money, it's 100% return on that money. So if I told you, hey, you want to make 100% every year guaranteed, it's unheard of, but it isn't when your employer matches the money. So definitely take advantage of that. A lot of people don't take advantage of that.
Of the 401ks, you're saying?
Of the 401ks, and the match. Yeah, they don't even consider it. And especially the younger generation. My daughter just became a nurse out of Tucson, and I'm like, hey, do you have a 401k? I don't know. You need to find out.
I don't know.
Yeah. So she didn't know it.
She just didn't care, right? I mean,
you have to think about that. So my husband just became a firefighter. There's 2 plans he can pick: the long one, the pension, or there's a shorter one, but it's more risk. But he doesn't know if he's going to be a firefighter for that. So he is just wrought with, I don't know what. I'm like, don't ask me. He needs to talk to you.
He needs to call Tom.
I don't know.
Yeah, so, and talking about the 401ks, I was just having a conversation with my cousin who's been a nurse for years. And he has an opportunity he's a personal trainer and he has an opportunity to buy a gym. And so he's going to borrow against his 401k to buy this gym that he has. And he has all this money saved up of the years working at the hospital as a nurse. And it's like, oh, wow. He took advantage of it early on.
My sister did that. They did a line of credit against their house, because their house has doubled in value and they bought an F45 gym and it's totally paid off. So he should, hopefully it works out. Yeah,
I think he's doing it.
That's amazing.
I mean, the first house I bought, I used my 401k loan to borrow against it. So, as long as it's, again, you're buying something that appreciates.
Yeah.
So, usually a gym and business will appreciate. So, so very important to start putting money away. You want to really save about 20% of what you make. Okay. Sooner you make it, the better. And with the rule of 72, let's just use the S&P 500. So you double your money every 8 years. So, you say you're 22. So now you're 30, you got $2. And now you're 38. And now you got $4. And now you're 46. And now you got $16 and $32. So the last 10 years of you investing, your money will double again. So if I start 8 years before you do, I'm going to have twice the amount of money with only 8 years.
Yeah.
So that's our compounding interest is so we're, valuable. So that's important. The other thing is naturally, I know a lot of people that make a lot of money and they spend a lot of money. So you look at their lifestyle, they got the nice house, they got the 2 cars, they're going on trips at least once a year. And from the outside, you're like, God, I'd like to be that guy.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then you look on the inside and you realize that they're just spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
So some of my clients, especially the ones that, end up with a lot of money, they never made a lot of money. They were just smart with their money. And smart is not sticking under the mattress. It's taking risks, buying things that appreciate. And there's a little luck involved in there.
Yeah.
But the main thing is just get started. I give the analogy of going to the gym. You can be in the worst shape of your life. And if you go to that gym for that one day, you're better off than you were the day before.
Yeah.
If you end up going 2 days, well, you're better off than you were,
Sure.
So the same thing with your money. If you start putting money away, it's not a lot of money, $100 here, $100 there. Then over time, you start getting financially in a better position.
That's right.
Also, there's a dollar cost averaging is key, and that's having a mechanism to put money away, so you don't have to think about it. You'll be amazed at how many people say, "Hey, I'm gonna bring you $10,000 every year, and we're gonna invest it," and then they never do.
Yeah. Car
breaks down, Christmas comes, there's always something. But if it's set up to their bank account or their 401k, their payroll, it just hits every month. Then it happens. Also, if the market drops like it did this year, in February, March, it dropped 20% with the tariffs. Well, that month you put money in, you got a 20% discount. So if you just bring it in towards the end of the year, doesn't usually happen as much.
Yeah.
The other thing is, everyone has a threshold with their bank account. Well, you have so much in your bank account, you kind of feel rich.
Yeah.
So if it's 5,000 or 10,000, and then when you say mine's 10,000 hypothetically, well, when I get to that point, then I start buying dumb things. Oh, I want a big screen TV because my other one's too small, and then you start spending that money.
Yeah.
So you really want to have accounts that suck money away from your spending account.
Gotcha.
So if you do
multiple accounts.
Yeah, and if you do want to buy something, you have to, do a transaction. Like if you sell stock and get the money, that might take you 3-4 days to get the money.
Okay.
So then you get to
kind of delays that.
Yeah, delays I can't buy it right now.
The impulse buy.
The impulse buy. Yeah.
So what are those mechanisms that do that?
So basically, you have a bank account. You can do an ACH, which is a transfer to any other account. Just do it to an account you really can't get to. I mean, you get to it within a week, but you can't get to it. And then hopefully that account will, stay invested if you need it for a long time. Because the other thing you see with people is they run up credit cards and then they will go refinance their house or do whatever and then get it paid off. And then you talk to them 3-4 years later, it's right back up again. Yep. So you kind of got to know yourself. Like I know if I'm a indulger in food, like I don't want to be going to buffets, right? If you really are going to just can't control your food, don't go to buffets. Certain things with your money too. I tell some people once I know that characteristic is, keep 10,000 on your credit card. You're going to pay the interest and all that, but it's better, at least you don't spend as much because when your credit cards get high, you don't spend. So that mechanism forces them, not to spend. Now it's not the best way to do it, but for them it is, because once that credit card gets paid off, and you take a loan to pay it off or you do something, then it just runs back up again.
Gotcha.
So a lot of it's just kind of knowing yourself. I think the best thing is, getting burned by the fire. Your little kid, don't touch the fire, it's hot. Well, when you get burned, you realize, oh man, it's hot. And you talked about some credit card debt and some things, and you realize like, dang, this is the real world. And
I got sued twice.
And it's not fun, right?
No, I was like, they found me. They caught me yesterday. We were talking about.
Actually, we had a bill collector on yesterday. And,
I was like, you guys caught me twice. But you know what? I paid it off. I made the payments. It's all good. Credit's back up. But yeah, I learned from that. I learned to not spend the way that I was spending. Yeah.
So you have a new approach on all that.
Yes. A new appreciation for keeping my money for sure.
Yeah. And sometimes it's okay to get knocked on the head as long as you learn from it.
Yeah.
But you have some people, and I can think of some names where they went bankrupt like two times or 3 times.
That's crazy.
Because they're not learning from what they're.
They're not learning.
And some people will never learn. They just want to live for the day. Today's the day. I'm going to have fun and do whatever.
Yep.
But hopefully, Social Security will only cover about 40% of your expenses. So a lot of people think, oh, I got Social Security. Well, you're living on 40 cents on the dollar of what you're going to make. You don't want to be that person.
No.
So you better have a plan to put money away, buy assets that go up, and, hopefully start early enough so the compounding rate kicks in. And then, you retire in a much better position than you are working.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be ideal.
I read a thing, and I brought it up on a previous episode. When Tupac died, he only had a few $100,000 in his bank, maybe like 100,000 and something in his bank. And here's Tupac, that if you watch his stuff and how many albums he sold and everything, and he never invested in property.
Yeah,
he never did any of those things that you're talking about. It was just the life. He just continued to do that life. And then when they looked at his bank account, it's like the guy had nothing.
Yep.
And I'm glad there's people like you, because all this stuff is like stuff I don't want to do. So I just want to like pay somebody. So here's my money. Do right with it. Don't steal it, and I'll be happy. That's why you do what you do.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people the best financial advisor, I think, is a non-emotional coach. And non-emotional because you can make the right move, especially with my 31 years of experience. I've seen a lot of downfalls in that. But, the client that lets me just drive the car without complaining or telling me I'm too
micromanaging.
fast. Turn here is an easier client, and you can actually do better for them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's trusting you to do. Like, I trust what you do. You got the knowledge. Take it. Make me more money. Yeah, it's like that. That's what I'll do in a few years.
The last thing I'll bring up, because I know we're short on time, is financial plan. Only about 15% of Americans have ever done a financial plan. We use a software called Money Guide Pro, and basically it plugs in all your variables: Social Security, houses, whatever else you got, pension, their fireman pension, and it basically projects forward where you're going to be. And that's really a roadmap. And most people don't have the roadmap. They just kind of throwing money here and there, hoping, it's all going to come together. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Or when you do a plan, you realize you can retire today, and they really thought they couldn't.
That's cool.
Or people keep eating macaroni and cheese to leave their kids more money. And you're like, look, you're going to leave your kid $20 million. Is that what you want to do? Oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, then go spend it. Go enjoy it.
I'll take $1 million back.
But either way, either scenario, it's good to have a plan for each one so you know what you're doing.
Correct. And that plan will be updated as you go.
Yeah.
Because things get good, things get better, things get worse. So you always want to keep updating that plan. And that's the key part.
Awesome.
So roadmap and how to get from point A to point B.
Right on. So how do people find out more about what you do and get a hold of you?
Yeah. So our website is yivwm.com. We're on 16th Street, 182 East 16th Street. I tell people right across from the Wells Fargo next to Staples. And our phone number is 928-329-1700. And call us and we can talk and hopefully help you out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the class.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We learned this is so cool.
My head hurts.
We get to do this and learn. So we're gonna do everything you said. Hopefully.
Yes, I will. Hopefully. I promise.
You promise. All right. And with that, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back with Tad Zavodsky from the City of Yuma. He has a leadership program that we're going to be talking about. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management, offering retirement planning, investment consulting, and money management aligned with the goals of each client. Appointments and information are at yivwm.com. Investment advisory services offered through CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Hi, this is Kevin Cubbins, your co-host on Beale Street Caravan. Next time on the program, we'll have music and interview from Liz Brasher. Also joining us will be Dr. Barbara Ching as she continues her series on country music and the blues. That's all coming up next time on Beale Street Caravan.
Thursday evening at 7 on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer, Education Solutions Reporter. It's finals week at Arizona Western College, and that means students are cramming to finish all of their outstanding projects, assignments, and exams before grades are due. As the AWC Business Club noted, finals can be a very stressful time. And that's why the club decided to partner with the Humane Society of Yuma to bring dogs to the Yuma campus on Monday. Club advisor and professor of accounting, Dr. Chris Duke, explained,
It's because it's the end of the semester. And what are they all doing? They're all trying to get their homework done and their finals. So one way to relieve your stress, petting dogs.
But the club didn't just want to help students. They wanted to help the dogs too. Before the big day, Duke said she hoped folks might fall in love with the visiting dogs and adopt them.
And that frees up space for the Humane Society so they can really provide a wonderful service to the community. And they do.
At the very least, AWC's visitors got a lot of love from students. For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer.
Blood services provider Vitalant is hosting blood drives at Yuma locations on an ongoing basis. Daily personal emergencies and ongoing medical needs of thousands of patients require a constant and ready blood supply. Donations of all blood types, especially O, are needed. Locations, dates, and appointments at donors.vitalant.org.
Hey everybody, this is Kathy with Kofa's K-Pop for Border. This week we have the Self-Love Show. We have Stray Kids, LE SSERAFIM, Twice, BTS, and New Jeans. So if you need a pick-me-up, tune in on Wednesday nights at 7 on 94.7 FM or drop in on the Kofa app.
I'm Chris Wheeler, owner of Prison Hill Brewing Company. I support KAWC because I think KAWC brings a service to the community that you don't get on commercial radio. You have news, you have entertainment, you have things like Science Friday. It's a perspective that is not available on a commercial platform, and it's oriented towards the community, for the community, and from within the community. Prison Hill underwrites KAWC and community radio because of what it brings to Yuma. It is the local perspective told by residents and from the view of people in the community. I don't think you get that anywhere else. Supporting KAWC really does bring a service that is not available elsewhere. It's a worthy endeavor, and I think that will just feed back and make Yuma a better place. I'm Chris Wheeler, and I support KAWC.
From KAWC, this is Siendo Primero.
Being First is a program created by students for students.
My name is Ajay Bárcenas.
And my name is Evelyn Garcia. Here we will share stories, information, and voices that connect with students' life.
Cada sábado les traeremos un nuevo tema directamente a tus oídos.
This show is available as a podcast or online. Just search KAWC.org under the Shows tab. A new vision with the same mission: to give students a voice.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here now joined by Tad Zavodsky from the City of Yuma, and it's right there on his shirt, Neighborhood Services. That's his department.
You service my neighborhood.
Yeah, he did something there. So we're going to find out. We're going to get down to the bottom of what it is, because one of those things is the Neighborhood Leadership Academy, correct? That's one of the things. But we like to get to know our guests before we get into all of that stuff. So how long have you been in Yuma, Tad?
I have been in Yuma since 1982.
82.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. What brought you to Yuma?
You really want to know the truth?
Yes, we want to know everything.
We get down to the bottom of it, Tad.
I came to Yuma as I was traveling through California, then on to even into Tijuana, Mexico, and then came back across the border and started heading east. I was a homeless, crazy person who ended up at what was called the Lower Lights Mission back in 1982.
Oh, wow.
Now it's the Crossroads Mission.
Yeah.
And I just...
Well, I'm fellow mission alumni. I lived there for 4 months,
Really?
Almost 12 years ago, and they helped change my life. So we were both crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy for a little bit, but
what do we mean?
But you said you were homeless, you were traveling. I know a little bit. We're talking about your background, that you used to be in a punk band at one point in time.
Yeah, I can give the name.
Yes. Give the name. You can talk about
Sado Nation.
Sado Nation.
Yeah. It was around for like 3 or 4 or 5 years. There was a guy. The personnel changed. Different singers. I was in there. I'll say at the high point. I don't know what it was.
The cool point.
You can say whatever you want.
It was 1979, 80. Yeah.
Nice.
Played some shows. And there's a video out there on YouTube of
What type of because I love punk rock, so I just want to talk about this. I'm going to punk festival, the Punk in the Park this Saturday. But so what kind of punk was it? Like who would be like the something you could be compared to? Was it like more little like the Clash, where it's a little bit more up, like Sex Pistols, Misfits, Ramones,
the Dead Boys, the Misfits? I don't know, something more. I don't know. It was
You were your own thing. So you came to Yuma and you went to the mission and stayed there and changed for the better. So what happened? Like, how did you create a life here in Yuma?
Well, I became a Christian.
Oh, okay.
So I was a virulent anti-Christian.
Gotcha.
To that day in November of 1982, because I was one of these guys came out of I really wasn't in the 60s. I wished I was, but I was really in middle school then.
In the 60s.
But so I had to live the 60s and the 70s. And so I experimented through Eastern religion. I read the cult. I, just was here, there, everywhere. But it was like the one thing I had already crossed off the list. Well, Christianity, that's fake. So that's, I'm moving on from there. But that's what happened in November 1982. Oh my gosh. This is something real. This is a real person. Jesus Christ, a real person.
It gave you a foundation to build up off of after that point.
Yeah. And I had never considered anything like, well, I worked jobs and stuff, but like marriage or something like that.
That wasn't even in your.
Oh, no, but I became a hardworking, diligent person and I married a woman with 2 kids. So I had an instant family and we had one more. And
what was your first job getting into the job field after you got your sanity back?
Well, I had to just get a job right away. So I took the first thing. People who've been in Yuma a long time will remember the Stardust.
Stardust. Yeah, I remember that was where Fry's is at.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was a resort. It was one of it was like
where Fry's was?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they used to have the spring league professionals.
Oh.
I think it was the people that would play the Cleveland Indians or something. That's where they stayed, or the Padres or something.
So this is how I know the Stardust, because I live on Madison, which is a few streets over from 4th Avenue. And out the window, I could see the Stardust sign. When I was a kid, when I was like 5 years old, I would see this thing that said Stardust and had a star and this cool sign. So it's always imprinted in my head because that sign was always shining every night right through the window.
Okay.
Yeah. So you worked at the Stardust.
Yeah, it was a busboy and room service. Good tips for room service there.
Oh, nice.
So you're doing that. You're starting to get your feet back under you. But did you ever think that you would work for the city?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
No, I went through I never went to college because I was like, I did go to college. I was a college dropout. 1 year at Portland State University, which I did, was in theater. And the other day I was thinking about the guy I used to do improvisation with in the theater class.
Yeah.
You would know him as Terrence Knox, who I Googled him again. He's been in, 20 movie appearances, 60 television appearances. He was in one long-term television show or something. So that's my old buddy. He was Terry Davis till he got his Hollywood name, Terrence Knox.
Okay. So, but this is a guy that you were doing stuff with in theater, you said, over at the university that you went to.
Yeah, Portland State.
Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, you have done some dramas in your life, right?
Oh, I've done many dramas. We had our Christian outreach type stuff where we did plays and skits. Oh, I did this for years. Yeah.
That's fun.
So is it cool to be able to live that out, to kind of go back into some of those roots of doing drama at the church?
Oh, yeah. I love drama. Well, I did a lot of directing too, where I was not even acting and I was directing.
That's fun.
So what does that look like for a drama? Directing a drama, you would say like, okay, I need more cowbell or like whatever.
We need to change something in the costuming there. No, I need you to stop playing.
I need you to feel it.
Yeah.
You know what? And we're talking about the church, the door. That's how I met you back when I was 15. We talked a little bit about that. Did you ever do the haunted house? Were you ever the
Everyone
director?
was always so scared of the door haunted house. There's like crazy myths about that.
There's a lot of room
because we. You're
like, actually me.
Like, here's how far they went to get some realism.
Okay.
The gang member who needed to remove his tag. Well, the way they did it, remove his tattoo because he left the gang. They have a chainsaw to cut his arm off. So you hear this sound. When there's a chainsaw, of course, there's no real chain burning, but you got the sound.
There's a chainsaw, and it sounds like it.
Yeah, and then they've got because they don't have high tech. They got people underneath the table with syringes, and when they're cutting his arm, they're squirting the blood out.
Blood is going out.
They had a guy who got electrocuted.
Wow.
I mean,
there was so many talks about that in school. Like, oh, they're really hurting people there.
No,
like,
but
you guys did your job of scaring
You
people.
did your job. And so I got to give props to Bill Coolidge, William Coolidge, the pastor there. I was told, because I got there about 15, and my first time there was actually through a haunted house. And I was like, this is great.
I love this.
So I heard that he would send people to like Hollywood and like to learn some stuff. Is that true?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I mean, some people might have got some training or something like that. The makeup guy, I'll give props to my friend, Ted Tarwater.
Ted.
He held the makeup department together for many years, that was work.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Lots of makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, makeup. So any fond memories of the haunted house? Because I know people listening right now, they know
what we're talking about.
We're talking about
So
the haunted
I
house.
was a lead character one time. He was a serial killer kind of guy, whatever like that.
Kind of like whatever.
Yeah, he was a real monster.
Oh, okay.
Not at all like me. But I did other small parts or something like that. And then sometimes I was in the makeup department. I just did as what was needed.
Nice.
I guess everybody remembers our gospel message at the end.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
years I was doing that too.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah,
I think you let it the time I went through. I think you were one of the ones in that room, because that's the other myth thing that we're talking about. They'd lock you into a room.
That's
at the
exactly
end.
what I heard. They wouldn't let you out.
Yeah.
You're like stuck there and listening.
But what it was you would just sit there and you would share your message, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like you can't leave.
No.
It was just like, hey,
No one's blocking the exits.
Can I talk to you a little bit about the gospel of Jesus Christ or whatever? You know?
I actually never went through. I was too scared.
You never did?
No, I never did. I told you I don't like haunted houses.
So I'm telling you, this thing was great.
Yeah. Oh, it was huge.
I remember one of the things, and I got to bring this up, is that the mirror that he had, like where it transitioned from scene to scene using lights and this mirror thing.
Yeah.
So you're watching it, you're looking at it, and then they change the lights and you're looking still straight, and it's a whole different scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
There's all kinds of, as many special effects as you could get on a low budget.
Yeah.
That was the whole
I liked
thing.
it.
Yeah, that was it. So thank you for letting us dive a little bit into your past, right? Get to know you a little bit more. We're going to take a break. On the other side, we're going to find out what you're doing at the city and how people can take advantage of this program and what's it all about.
Okay.
All right. We're going to do that after a quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Organist Chi-Sun Lee will be performing as part of the St. Paul's Concert Series at 5 in the evening on Sunday, December 28th at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. Lee has performed concerts in Korea, the United States, Brazil, and Italy, exploring the instrument's range, including classical repertoire and world ethnomusic. More at stpaulsyuma.org.
In Flagstaff today, there's a 60% chance of precipitation with snow showers likely before 5 p.m., yet partly sunny with a high of 32 and a low this evening of 15. In Prescott, it's sunny with a high near 47 degrees, clear skies tonight with a low around 24. In Kingman, it's sunny and breezy with a high of 53 degrees. Winds out of the north could gust up to 28 miles per hour, clear tonight with a low of 32. Yuma's high is 69 and a low of 47.
Hi, it's Daryl Brogdon here with the Underground Martini Bunker, home of the Retro Cocktail Hour. I hope you'll join us every week for classic tiki tunes, TV crime, jazz, swing, and soundtracks, and more. You're the designated driver on the highway of cool at the Retro Cocktail Hour.
Saturday evening from 7 to 9 on Border Radio KOFA.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here with Tad Zavodsky, Neighborhood Services for here in Yuma, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Neighborhood Leadership Academy. So fast forward, you end up at the city as a Neighborhood Services. What does that mean?
Okay. Well, I'd like to tell you about my stop that got me into HUD program.
Okay.
It was suddenly in 2000, I got a job with the Quechan Housing Organization, which is HUD funded, and all the kind of compliance stuff like that. And I worked there for 11 and a half years, and even at one point I was the acting executive director or something like that, but then I moved on from there and ended up with City of Yuma to continue on HUD programs. And so Neighborhood Services has been around since I think the 80s or something, and they are a department of the city. It's kind of a different track than all this rest, like planning and zoning and building safety and engineering, all that. There's grants the city gets. They're HUD grants, and they are specifically to be used in low-income neighborhoods. And so this department is the one that works in all these various low-income programs, rebuilding houses for people. There's they fund local social services type stuff. The Crossroads Missions got money before, the food bank, other individual ones, Achieve Human Service. I could go on.
Okay.
But so I'm a HUD compliance type person. I mean, I do like really exciting stuff like environmental reviews. That's a tongue in cheek. That is just tedious, boring. And
lots of paperwork.
Somebody does it, but I'm expert at it now. So that's what I do.
Yeah. So so the HUD, is that a big part of it then still? Because you also have this leadership academy.
Okay. No. So I have all the other stuff I do, which as needed, but the leadership academy is not HUD funded. It was at one time. It's funded through regular general fund for the city.
Okay.
But it was birthed in 1997.
Okay.
And there was a mayor. It was Marilyn Young. And she is actually my neighbor there on Elks Lane.
Oh, cool.
Near the hospital and the townhomes I live in. So
hey, I used to live in those.
30,
love that place.
Okay.
Yeah.
30 years ago. Well, we're fighting the battle to keep the landscaping and the infrastructure
Really?
going all these years down the road. Yeah, that's another story. I'm on the board. I'm the president of the
you're
board.
like, I digress. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For fun. I got,
For fun.
with a board and have to deal with that stuff. But anyhow, so Marilyn looked at the city and said, hey, we feel like there's a disconnect between the community and City Hall. And so I like to create this thing. And they gave it to Neighborhood Services, the department I'm now in, to be the coordinator for it.
Okay.
So it had been going on for a number of years before I came to work for the city in 2012, just about 2013. And I became the coordinator of the Neighborhood Leadership Academy. And
how did that happen? Did people like say, hey, I want you? Or did you apply for it?
No, when I got hired, it was like, oh, this is the guy.
Well, they love you. Oh.
Well, it turned out to be like a totally perfect fit.
Nice.
Because, and then just about 3 years ago, it was so popular to do it for the community that they said, let's do a version of it for the employees, which instead of on Thursday nights for 12 weeks, like we're going to do this one for the citizens, the employees is on Fridays, like all day long from 8 to 3 and cram it into some Fridays. So I actually do 3 of these classes a year.
Wow. Oh, okay. 3 a year. And
the one the other ones are strictly employees. So the one we're talking about is for the community. The community. We're taking applications right now. It's going to start January 15th. To apply, you need to go to our website, the City of Yuma website, and just put in neighborhood leadership.
And what am I applying for?
It's a class to learn about. You get taken through all the departments of the city and then tours of police, fire, the water plant. They do this cool thing. We call it Play Day with Civic Center, where they take you through a bunch of activities, drive you around in golf carts and everything, and do a painting class and stuff like that. We also go on a historic downtown tour that was custom made for this class.
Wow.
And then we also learn about it's called the Yuma Crossing National Heritage Area, which you may be aware of.
I think we had them on, right?
Yeah, we've had them on before.
Yeah, that's good because they need to be promoted.
Yeah.
So, and then all the other classes are all the nuts and bolts of stuff the city administration, the city administrator presents, and
Now, would I do this because I want to become an employee, or like what am I learning?
So in that how I was first introduced to it was Cecilia's done it.
Yeah, she's a graduate.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the way I was introduced to it was if you want to run for city council, you should take this, right? That was how I was introduced. So people that are on city council and so are thinking about running, go get a behind the scenes look on how everything works and the mechanics, right? So most of the people I know that's ran for city council has taken this. And I know we have I think a city councilman, somebody here, Martinez. I mean, I don't know if he's taken it or not, but that's usually the way I've heard about it.
Well, I would say, the thing back to Marilyn Young, the thing was they were looking at how people with boards and commissions had very little knowledge of how the city runs.
Okay,
so
boards.
It's more like the entry level is you do the Neighbor Leadership Academy and then get on a board or a commission and, attend some city council meetings and then find out how to be a city council member.
So this would be good for me because I'm looking at the beautiful commission. Clean and beautiful. I'm looking at getting onto that. And so this will be a good entryway to find out the mechanics of it so I could be a better commissioner.
Well, yes. And when people are looking for openings with commissions and stuff, they'll ask, oh, are you Neighborhood Leadership Academy graduate? And that's kind of like a plus. Oh, you're a Neighborhood Leadership Academy. We'd like to have you on our board.
You got the in right there.
I did the Parks and Rec Commission for a while. I was on that.
Oh, cool.
And we used to call it Commissioner. Good morning, Commissioner. I just like that term. That was fun. Hello, Commissioner. Yeah.
And,
how do you do? So if you're not doing that though, if you're not running, you'd want, what's the benefit of just a regular Joe Smith?
Which are many people attend that. They work for an organization. Some people from nonprofits. They want to bring back the knowledge to that. They want to know about their community. Some people are real estate people. They just want to know more how Yuma runs. And then there's just people, you're the person for your family or your neighbors. That's the one, hey, they know about what this city hall runs. They know how the organization is. And so they might.
Oh, so you get it does actually give you a leadership position within your network or your neighborhood.
You would be because you'll be more knowledgeable. Sure. Nobody's going to know that just by looking at the website because let me give a little deep depth. It's okay. They're going to present outlines and everything, but the whole conversation that's going on is very, without manipulating anything. This is such a diverse group of people every year. They're just every year. It's for 25 people to get as diverse of backgrounds and education and, their life history and occupations. It's pretty amazing.
So that's how many people you're taking? 25?
Yeah.
25. Okay.
Any cool fun memories of this? Any that were made?
Yeah. What's your favorite part?
Well, it's like being a parent. Every class is kind of like your favorite kid.
We all have favorites.
No, you're supposed to say Cecilia's class was your favorite. That was
class of I don't know what year.
Yeah.
We all have our favorite kid at some point. Just kidding.
Any cool memories?
It's just great.
It's all great.
You love it. He just loves it, guys.
25 people every year that I didn't know before, almost any of them.
Yeah.
And then I get to make 25 new friends.
Your lifelong friends after.
I'll say one thing that was kind of amazing. We didn't have the mayor or the council involved in this at all. And about 4 years ago, we brought him in.
Nice.
And it turns out our mayor, Doug Nichols, in this, it's not a structured format. He comes and says, this is why I went into public office. This is what a mayor does. This is what a council does. And then answers questions, very informal. And it's
everyone
great.
Loves it.
People like that.
Really good.
Because he just shows his human side. Like he's like, this is what I do. This is who I am.
And that is who Doug is.
Exactly. He's been on this show and he was just like, this is what I do.
He's a human. He really is.
He's not a robot.
I wish he could run for mayor forever. I think he'd be great for the city, but
we may lose him to state office someday.
I know, right?
Yep.
It's like,
he's out of here.
Well, yeah, we like this guy. He needs to be up in the state level. But so bringing him in, that added some life to the program.
But what I always find that all our departments, they really strive for the best that they can do. They work on their presentations. They invented little games like the planning game and the neighborhood services grant.
And I like that because when people think city, you can think boring, like, oh, paperwork and like clerical, but it can be a lot of fun.
The municipal court guy, Del Miller, he's administrator, associate judge, right?
Okay.
So he brought in you're the judge, and then he puts like hypothetical cases.
Cool.
I love that.
Evidence, and
Ronnie's
everyone
like, guilty.
says, I'm like, guilty.
Ronnie's like, lock him up, throw away the key.
Yeah, pretty cool.
You're on probation.
The life sentences, all of you. How dare you? Don't give Ronnie that authority. That's
no, I might be too nice. Like, you're free.
Yeah, it's like, go ahead.
Just leave. You're good.
But so they make it fun.
Yeah. and people make friends there, little
Yeah,
connections.
exactly.
And some come in little groups, from the same job. Or last year we had a group of the master's program for social work
nice.
from here, I don't know which NAU or whatever,
Any of them.
like that, and got their friends. A couple of them are coming in this year.
Oh, okay. Do you have so many people signed up already?
Yeah, we have 18. So there's only
only 7 spots
tell your
left.
audience 7 left.
Seven left.
Get a
Come
hold
on,
of me
everyone.
today.
Let's get it
Tell
filled.
everybody one more time, where do they go to find out more?
They go to the city website, City of Yuma AZ. You should know that already.
Yep.
And then just go to just type in NLA and it'll pull up. It'll be the most recent
And then
link.
you get to
Awesome.
meet Tad.
Yeah, which is always a treat in
Yes.
itself, the meeting
Love
Tad. Thank you so much, Tad. I appreciate you being with us and
you.
giving us that knowledge. And with that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornelas, Juan Garcia, Dave Reek, and Cecilia.
And you can find out more about KAWC at kawc.org, on Facebook at KAWC Radio, and on the KAWC app. And stay tuned following our program for KOFA Midday Music.
And on tomorrow's program, we're going to have my barber, Craig Austin.
Craig.
Yeah, he has some cool info for us. And as well as Eric Macias, who is a local musician, artist, beat maker, rapper, all kinds of cool stuff he does.
And you can listen to the podcast version of our program at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio, and email us if you want to be on the show at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you again,
Thanks,
Tad. It's good catching up with you. And I hope you get the whole class filled, and it's nothing but fun.
Have fun.
Absolutely. Thanks, John.
What's Up Yuma with Johnny Porter is sponsored by Yuma and Imperial Valley Wealth Management, offering solutions for those who value financial planning. YIVWM.com.
Broadcasting from Yuma campus of Arizona Western College for more than 55 years, this is Border Radio, 94.7 FM, KOFA Yuma. We also broadcast at 1320 AM in Yuma, at kawc.org, and on the KOFA app.
The Somerton Tamale Festival, featuring tons of tamales, thousands of attendees, and 2 stages of live entertainment, will fill Somerton's Main Street all day long, beginning at 11 in the morning on Saturday, December 20th. Proceeds go to the El Diablito Alumni Club scholarships for local students. Festival information is at somertontamalefestival.com.
BBC News with